Rob, this weekend's English Premier League results. Spurs yet to play. Leicester City obviously still sitting pretty, but that sort of margin could change. What did you make of this weekend's results?
Yeah, a real Sunday thriller at Leicester. Leicester playing West Ham, a team they would probably have been favoured fairly substantially on current form to beat. I think Leicester had gone all wins in their last 6 matches or something like that. So you would have expected them to beat West Ham, but you can never take anything for granted in the Premiership. West Ham were well up for it.
Sounded like it was quite a niggly game.
It was, yes, there was lots of niggle, lots of pushing and shoving, noses up against each other, that sort of thing, typical sort of Premiership hustle and bustle, and some very controversial refereeing, controversial decisions, real flashpoints. Jamie Vardy getting sent off for a second yellow. That, of course, could have implications for Leicester's title run-in. That'll make them a little bit nervous about the possibility of Vardy not seeing too much action in the crucial run-in phase for them. He's been such a key player for them, so they were very upset about that. And it seemed to just sort of knock them off their stride a little bit after they led 1-0 and looked like getting another of their famous. They've been getting lots of 1-0s in the last few weeks, and that was sort of my banker. And then all of a sudden, West Ham got a controversial leveller and then went ahead, which was a real turn up for the books. And then another controversial penalty at the other end, which got Leicester to at least be able to nick a point and say that they were able to retain their unbeaten record. That helped to settle a few nerves, I think. And the net result is that they're still something like 8 points clear. As you mentioned, Spurs 1 game in hand away to Stoke. So that game still to come to complete the weekend's round.
And then 4 rounds left.
Yes, and then it starts to get, sort of really white knuckle ride for can Leicester hang in there. I just think the margin of points is such that they don't need to get too nervous. And I also don't believe that Spurs, with all due respect to them, are capable of sort of winning all the time. I think that there's going to be a couple of hiccups along the way for them too. So there is still going to be some breathing space for Leicester. But I suppose you could say that Chelsea, Man City was the big game on paper, or in terms of the big names of the clubs, if you like. We know Chelsea nowhere this season, mid-table at best, and they looked at when they were thrashed 3-0 at home by Man City. So Aguero, in form again, rattling in the goals. So a good result for City. And Arsenal, a dreadful result at home against Crystal Palace, at a time when you're bidding for that 3rd and 4th spot for the Champions League race for next season. To go 1-0 up at home to Crystal Palace and then to end up drawing 1-1. Very poor results, and heaps the pressure, I think, on the anti-Arsene Wenger club, because of course there are people who for several years now have been saying Wenger's not it's time for him to go. His great era has gone, and Arsenal are just sort of treading water, and I'm afraid that perception only increased this weekend.
And the relegation zone?
I don't want to talk about it really. Look, Newcastle, a little bit of a lifeline. A good 3-0 win against Swansea. Scoreline slightly flattering, I have to say. Even as a staunch Newcastle fan, I still think Newcastle are sadly favourites to be one of the sides going down. I think Newcastle and Villa, Villa obviously now gone, but for the rest, it's Sunderland and Norwich still scrapping to avoid that other 3rd spot. I'm afraid, I have to say, I still think Newcastle potentially going to finish second bottom.